Hi there, good morning. Welcome to Ridgehaven Life. My name is Ian, and in this video I'm going to begin tackling the roots of the berry plants that have started spreading out around the nursery greenhouse. This is something that I recently found out that was happening, and got to begin some remediation efforts to make sure that the berries don't end up taking over. All right, so a little bit of background here in the nursery greenhouse. So this end of the raised bed here are berries. So you can see some starting actually to go to flower. So there's blackberry, boysenberry in this spot here. This is actually a currant bush, but yeah. So planted these about 2.5 years ago, and knew that, okay, berries can be very invasive, but got a little complacent because we hadn't really seen berries pop up elsewhere. It didn't look like this was spreading too much, and I got this false sense of security that it really could be managed. And that is now been shattered because of what I recently discovered. So a little bit more background is when we got the property 2.5 years ago, the ground in all the the ground in all the greenhouses, we lined with a thick layer of cardboard and wood chips. And the idea was that that would help with the mud during the rainy season. It would help keep the weeds down and really just help make this whole space in the greenhouses much more accessible. And it's worked pretty darn well. I mean, this is pretty much untouched from how it was laid over 2 years ago, and it's holding up pretty well. It doesn't get wet, and yeah, the cardboard and the wood chips just made for a really good solid mulch. And so to illustrate here, you can see this is the cardboard that was laid as the first layer on the ground, and then a thick layer of wood chips. And so what I uncovered recently is that this layer of cardboard and wood chips actually created a wonderful layer for roots to grow under. And so that way, these roots, these plants basically could migrate from this raised bed to this raised bed. And that is what is in process here. So all of these are berry roots that have migrated or made their way from the berry plants back here and grown out in this direction. So that is very much a problem. I want to keep dedicating this space to other things besides berries. And if I don't do anything, I reckon that in a couple of months when spring arrives, there's going to be berry shoots just popping up all over the place because the roots have infiltrated into this raised bed. So I'd like to remediate that as much as possible. I do think that overall managing the berries is going to be a multi-stage project. What to do about it spreading in this raised bed, what to do about it spreading, towards the edge, to the potato smart pots, and kind of out the wall. But right now, I'm going to concentrate on what is making its way into this raised bed here. And so to that end, my thought is what I'd like to do is basically dig out horizontally as much of the root as I can. So just kind of like hollow things out and hopefully be able to take out a lot of this root without it breaking. Because you don't necessarily want the root to break because a new plant will form in whatever's left over. That's the one of the wonderful things about perennials. And yeah, just being able to pull it all out, without it breaking is the ideal solution. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of thick roots that have made their way over, and so this is not going to be 100% solution, but it's something to get me started. Yeah, the first phase is basically going to kind of dig horizontally, see how much I can get out, and we'll see what's left. Another complicating factor is I can't just take the soil out of here, out of this raised bed, to expose the roots and pull them out. One, because I've got a broccoli crop going on here for the winter garden, but also the raised beds are lined with a layer of hardware cloth. And hardware cloth, it's a metal grid, so kind of a similar idea to, say, the metal fencing, but the squares are much smaller, maybe like a third to a half an inch wide, so that the moles don't get through. So that way the moles that are constantly burrowing in the ground, they won't get up into the raised beds and eat at the root systems of the plants and kill off the plants. So the protection from the moles is going to prevent me from easily getting these roots out of the ground underneath this raised bed. So we'll see again where this goes. Definitely going to be a multi-stage project, but yeah, at least want to address right now during the winter season, as I know these roots are just continuing to spread out horizontally, going deeper into this raised bed before the spring hits, and then they just start shooting up all over the place. All right. Well, it didn't take me long to get started on that project to remember and appreciate the how this area was developed. So this is a pretty flat, large area, and you got lots of greenery, grass and clover that's growing, and it's in the forest. And so it might kind of give the impression that this area is the ground is pretty lush soil. However, that is definitely not the case. So kind of looking over here, you could see the hillside coming down, and it's all basically rock. And so what this ground here is effectively rock. Yes, it's covered in gravel for the road, and it's got enough nutrients to kind of support the basic grass and clover that's going on. But over here you can get a pretty good sense of what I'm talking about. So these areas here, the barren spots, so this was covered in pots, this was covered in tarps at the beginning of the rainy season, so the grass and clover is a little bit delayed in getting started here. But this is a good illustration of what the ground actually is. And so what that means is that these raised beds are effectively islands of arable land in this relatively barren environment. And so the ground the ground itself is, for all intents and purposes, effectively rock. And so what that means is that when I started kind of trying to dig horizontally to get these roots out, realize that I'm essentially kind of trying to dig into rock. And so that's definitely not really possible in this. And yeah, I pretty much stopped and realized that I'm going to need to kind of reassess what to do with these roots. So, they are firmly going under the raised bed here, and here's the hardware cloth. Here's just a little strip of the hardware cloth that is lining the base of the raised beds, and so essentially what you've got are these roots that are growing horizontally between the rock of the ground and the hardware cloth. And so how to get those roots out, if at all, is going to need to be determined on another day. So we'll see how that develops. I've got a couple of options. One, I could cut the roots here and just see how they pop up, and maybe just manage them as they pop up. I could cut them over on this end and kind of see if this length of the root might help kill off the part of the root that's under the raised bed. Probably have a few other options that I haven't thought of either. So yeah, what this means is while I was able to get a lot of the roots taken out and kind of moved back across this walkway, I think I have effectively stopped the migration of the roots from this raised bed to this raised bed. So then the question is, what do I do with these roots that I'm not able to pull or dig out? So yeah, to be determined at a later point. But at least I now have a better sense of the challenge that I'm working up against in managing the berry roots that are spreading by my own mistake. All right, well, that is going to wrap it up for this opening chapter of how to manage the berry perennials as they have spread underneath my radar for the past 2 years. All right, and I suspect that 2026 that'll be a running theme of how to manage and maybe eradicate and come up with a better solution of how to grow berries up here. So, all right, well, thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy and take care.